Yeah. What's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. We are back, guys. I know we said 11 o'clock. We're about 20 minutes late. Forgive me, forgive us. We're running on CP time today. But I want to thank you guys for checking us out, all right? Again, this is Mike with Nothing But Niners. My man Dillon is here. We're going to bring you guys another debate. All right, today is going to be a lot of fun. We're gonna talk about quarterbacks, okay? But before we get into all the nitty gritty, why don't you guys check us out on the website www.nothingbutniners.com. If you've never been there before, make sure you guys take the time and go through everything that we have there. We have blogs, plenty of writers there bringing you guys great content. We have videos, everything that is here on YouTube. We have podcasts. If you've never listened to our audio podcast, check that out. Got some exclusive stuff over there also for you. And you're going to be led to all of our different social medias. We have Twitter, we have Snapchat. Both of those are Nothing But Nine, ERS. We have Facebook. We have that's Nothing But Niners spelled all the way out. We have Instagram, Nothing But Niners spelled all the way out. Guys, we're pretty much everywhere, okay? And by the way, if this is your first time checking us out here on YouTube, we want to thank you. Dillon and I waited tonight just so that the West Coast people had a chance to get home, get settled, have a little bit of dinner, and get ready to watch us talk about quarterbacks, okay? So I'm going to introduce my man Dillon. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Last time we were in here, I wasn't really popular with the whole crew, but you know what? I'm ready for it. Hopefully I can bring the love back. Hopefully I don't get too much hate this time. I wore a hat just so y'all can't roast me on my hair. It's all good. We good.
They were going hard after you, man. You know, the 49er fans, man, one thing that you gotta admit, man, that passion is real. If you come at their team sideways, it's all downhill for you from that point on. And you can see by even celebrities, Jalen Rose, he said that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't carve us up. It was more about the scheme. Yeah. And guess what happened? They killed him on Twitter, yo. They killed him.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, man. So, you know, what's going on, everybody in the chat room? All right. Jimmy G, the King, GOAT, 2018 MVP. That is the first message in the chat, bro. Jonathan, what's going on? I see you in here. Go hard. I see you in here. Cheers. Cheers, go hard. I see you, baby. All right. Patrick is in here. Alexander, what's going on, everybody? All right, guys. So check this out, man. I don't want to drag this out. What we're here to talk about today is quarterbacks, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to talk about and rate the quarterbacks in our division, okay? So, Dillon, I don't know if you want to go first, if you want me to go first. How do you want to do this, man? Dillon, are you there?
It's all you. Go first, dog.
Oh, you're going to get me in a lot of trouble here.
No, let me go first. All right, I got it.
Oh, wait. All right, how about this? How about you give me your top quarterback, and then I'll give you my top quarterback in our division, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Now, I think it's going to make a few people mad, but I respect your opinion, Mike, and I feel like you got the same opinion as me on number one. But it's Russell Wilson. All right, he's still an elite quarterback in this league, and he's the number one in our division still. He makes it happen with no team around him, and it's Russell Wilson. Give me the hate. I don't care, but I'm willing to bet Mike's with me on that one.
Absolutely, man. You got to step back and take out personal feelings and all that. Do I hate the Seahawks? Do I hate Russell Wilson? Absolutely. But when you step back and look at what the guy did last year alone, completed 61.3% of his passes with no offensive line. They have continuously had the worst offensive line in the NFL for 4+ seasons, and they're trying to fix it. They've been getting guys in the first, second, third, fourth round. They're grabbing guys from all over the place. They can't do it. Russell Wilson still finished the season out. He played all 16 games, took a beating back there, finished with 34 touchdowns, 11 picks. He completed 61% of his passes, and he threw for almost 4,000 yards, 3,983 yards. It's really, really hard to hate on that guy. He's a smart quarterback. He's an athletic quarterback. He can make plays with his legs. He can make all the deep passes. He can do all the short passes. He just needs some help. If the team around him was better, they would be legit contenders every single year. Even though I do think that you agree with me, the Seahawks are on their way down. They're taking steps back from now on, but that doesn't take away from Russell Wilson. We're talking just quarterbacks.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's too legit. I saw a little comment in the live chat that said only Russ because he's got the Super Bowl ring. And really, no. I mean, that just doesn't have anything to do with it. I think he's just actually the best quarterback in that division. He's one of the best in the league still. he's nearly impossible to sack. I mean, we saw it plenty of times. And I mean, he just finds a way to make plays every time, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, the guy's escapability is through the roof. I mean, I've seen him be wrapped up by two guys, grabbed by one guy, wrapped up by another, and he still gets out of it. He finds Baldwin or Tate at the time down the field all the time. It pisses you off. You get so angry, and you sit around and you watch and you cheer against them so hard, and they just find ways to win. And it's not the run game. They haven't had a run game. It's Russell Wilson, man. He's the best in the division.
You remember this year, Tank Carradine going in for that sack, and he like just went under Tank. I was like, how do you even do that?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. The guy's good. He can make, like I said, he can make every throw. He's an intelligent quarterback. He can make plays with his legs. And you know what I like the most about Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson came in around the time of the RG3, Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, where these guys were running and making plays with their legs, right? He was the only one, in my opinion, that actually evolved. He's the one
that's why he's the only one that's still top tier.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, enough with the Russell Wilson love. I'm going to throw up over here. So let's get to your number 2.
All right. 49ers fans, you're going to be happy with this one. I didn't do it, okay? I put Jimmy as number 2, and I looked at it specifically. I'm looking at this upcoming season, who I wanted more. Okay, that's how we did this. That's how we ranked all these quarterbacks. If you're going to this next season, who do you want as your starting quarterback? And obviously I said Russell Wilson first. And again, it has nothing to do with scheme fit or anything. It's just best quarterback. And really, I saw enough from Jimmy that I felt like he has that step above Goff. After seeing Jared Goff in his first year, and yes, I know everything was stacked against him last year, I still wasn't even completely sold on Jared Goff last year. I mean, when you go back and look at some of his tape, he has a lot of instances of missing wide open receivers. I mean, Sammy Watkins, for one, he missed Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins gets hated on a lot, but he could have done a lot better. And I saw so much tape of Jared Goff just absolutely missing him. I don't know if there was no chemistry there or what. He obviously had a little bit of chemistry with Robert Woods because that guy went off. But now he's got Brandon Cooks in there. Maybe they can develop some sort of chemistry. They've got a lot of help around them. But I feel like Jimmy G just did even better than we would have thought Jared Goff would have when he didn't have anything to really work with him. And I mean, I hate to do this to you, Mike, but we were talking a little bit of stats before the game, and he helped me to find out. He did it for me. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, if he stayed on pace the way he was, which of course I don't believe that he would have continued this amazing pace, he would have ended the year with 4,992 yards. That would have been first place in the NFL by far. Second place would have been Tom Brady with 4,577. Now, of course, other things are gonna come in the way. You're not gonna be able to maintain that savagery all year. But I mean, if I want to start my team tomorrow, I'm starting Jimmy G over Jared Goff.
All right, that's nice and all, but we got to be realistic here, man. Let me tell you one of Jared Goff's biggest selling points for me. It was watching his struggles year one. I was ready to call this guy a bust. But watching how he can take a step back, not get in his own head, not get in his own way, and completely learn a new offense, which is a quarterback-friendly offense, and take advantage of it. Jared Goff is my number 2 guy. I'm taking Jared Goff over Jimmy Garoppolo in this exercise, guys, in this exercise. I know people are going to kill me for this, and you can't wait for me to start getting the hate. But the truth of the matter is Jared Goff threw for 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. We haven't had that kind of ratio in San Francisco in decades, okay? He threw for 3,800 yards, and get this, he had the best running back in the league. There's no reason he should have thrown that many touchdowns. There's no reason he should have thrown for that many yards, but he did it. And here's the kicker. He didn't even play the 16th game of the season, bro. If you had now the same way we did with Jimmy Garoppolo, how we figured out what it would have been if he played on a 16-game scale. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo would have thrown for 4,992 yards, but he also would have thrown for 22 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. Again, that's basing it all off of that scale. Here's what Jared Goff did and would have done over 16 games. He would have finished with 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,057 yards, and still had the best running back in the league on his team. That is damn hard to beat. That's some Steelers type shit. That's what you see Ben Roethlisberger doing with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. And Jared Goff, a second-year quarterback, did that. And they run similar systems also. So if that's what you're looking at, you know that he's capable of running our system. We learned that he's capable of adjusting and learning a new playbook in one season, and that the weapons were coming and going. He didn't rely on one guy to make him successful. Jared Goff is my number 2 guy. All right. And with that being said, go ahead. I see you.
I just want to take one of your points and I want to turn it around for my side. Okay. You talked about how he had Todd Gurley on there to help him out, or Todd Gurley to take some of those carries away. All right, well, we've already seen, case in point, the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you have a run game, you can take a lot of pressure off of a bad quarterback. Blake Bortles wasn't terrible this year, all because Leonard Fournette was taking so many carries, and nobody expects Blake Bortles to throw the ball. So when he does, it's easier for him. When you have Todd Gurley, who was the best running back in the NFL last year, when you have Todd Gurley running the ball, people are going to be worried about that. People aren't going to focus as much on you. I don't have the stats for how much Jared Goff was pressured, but when he also had Andrew Whitworth protecting him, I mean, the Rams' offensive line was by far more talented than ours was. So that's another thing going for him. He had help all around him on the field.
I'm not arguing that. But how much trouble did Jimmy Garoppolo really get in when he was under center? Like Jimmy Garoppolo didn't take a lot of snacks.
Trouble.
Huh?
He was so good he stayed away from the trouble.
Exactly. So you can't bring in the offensive line. You can't hold that against them. If our offensive line did what our offensive line looked so much better when Jimmy Garoppolo got under center that they extended Daniel Kilgore. Like, come on now. They extended Daniel Kilgore. Laken Tomlinson just got a 3-year extension. Come on, bro. These were guys that we dreaded watching play week in and week out until Jimmy got under center. He improved the play. I'm just saying he improved the play. Look, I get it. All right. And you can, I know fans are going to hate me for it. I see some of the hate. Well, this guy was a Cap fan, so you expect stupid answers. Like I see it. I see the comments in there, and I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm not here to bring you guys. I'm not here to stroke your guys' ego. You guys got to be honest with yourselves. They run a similar system. And if we could have got this kind of production from a guy for 16 games, the 49ers would have been damn good. They would have been damn good last year. 33 touchdowns, bro. We don't get that. We don't get that. I'm not saying we're not going to get it this year with Jimmy. Jimmy's my guy, guys. Time out. Fuck this exercise for a second. Time out. Okay? I don't want anybody else on our team. Not even Russell Wilson, okay? I'm just doing this for the exercise. The exercise is looking at what they did last year and going forward, which guy would you want? That's what the exercise is. Who's the best quarterback in the division? You have to earn that right. That's not something that you can project and say, one day this guy is going to be better. I do think Jimmy and Shanahan are going to put up numbers that are going to demolish other quarterback numbers. Okay, what we're going to see here is Peyton Manning with the Broncos, the good year. When he got into the shootout with the Cowboys, that year, the record-setting year. We're going to see that year after year after year with Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. But that hasn't happened yet. We have to go based off of what we've seen so far. And based off of what we've seen, Russell Wilson is number 1, Jared Goff is number 2, and obviously number 3 is Jimmy Garoppolo. The reason we're not going to really focus on number 4 is because the Cardinals have 4 different quarterbacks on their team right now, and we're not taking any of them. We don't even know who's going to be starting for them. Like, you know what? Let's have some fun with this. Which Cardinals quarterback are you going to put on this list as number 4?
Ooh, you ready? Okay, this is my boy, okay? We didn't get to talk much about quarterbacks in the draft because we already had our boy. But if you follow me on Twitter, you know I put this man on blast. I love this guy. He is my favorite quarterback in this draft. He is going to be a beast, and I hate that he landed our division. His name is Josh Rosen, and he is a bad man. Okay? That man got too much hate for the stupidest stuff. I mean, I can't even think about it. He became controversial because he had a pool in his dorm room. What? Okay. Josh Rosen is going to be a beast. Okay. Sam Bradford is a good quarterback. But to be a good quarterback, you have to play. He never plays. Sam Bradford will not be the starting quarterback. He might start out the starting quarterback. But Rosen's going to be the starting quarterback before the end of the year. And Josh Rosen is going to torment us for years, and I hate that. Okay, Josh Rosen is a good quarterback. The only thing that worries me with him is the possibility of injury, and I'm not even that worried about that. I think Josh Rosen's going to be good. I mean, that's just what it is.
Stop it.
Hang on. This is exactly why I didn't put him at 3, because of what you said earlier, and I thought about it before. Okay, you can't look at what you think's going to happen. I think if I was doing this same little exercise next year, I think my list would be all switched up. I think I'd have Josh Rosen at least 3. At least. That's just how high I am on him. With Larry Fitzgerald, David Johnson, Christian Kirk. I don't know who else. I mean, that's just a good crew right there. I mean, that's just how I feel. I'm very, 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 very high on Josh Rosen.
Look, I get that.
Right? On Jimmy, though.
I get that. And see, like, looking at if we were to fast forward and do this exercise next year, I think our number ones would be Jimmy Garoppolo, because I honestly think Garoppolo is going to have a serious season this year. The touchdown to interception ratio is going to be vastly improved. All right. His total yardage is going to be crazy. I can't wait to see him 16 games. I can't wait to see it, bro. I really can't wait to see it. A better grasp of the playbook and everything, and hopefully the offensive line is going to get better as the season goes on. Don't let us start out with a solid offensive line. They're only going to get better because there is no continuity on that offensive line right now. We got 4 starters. No matter who they are, there's going to be 4 starters that didn't start for us last year. So that offensive line is going to build chemistry as the season goes on. They're only going to get better. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the number 1 guy on this list when we do this exercise next year. I can feel it in my bones. But again, like you said, that's not what we're doing. That being said, Sam Bradford easily over any of those other quarterbacks. Mike Glennon, Josh Rosen, when healthy, and that's far few in between, but when healthy, Sam Bradford is a damn good quarterback. He's intelligent. He can make all the throws. He can throw with anticipation. He's just fragile. I mean, that guy is Charmin. He's soft. He can't take a hit. And so that's really it. Go ahead.
That's like, to me, that's like saying you want Jimmy Ward over someone else, but I'm not taking Jimmy Ward over somebody that might be like just a little bit currently, just a little bit below his skill level. Because if I'm projecting on who I want for a 16-game stretch, I'm pretty positive Sam Bradford's not going to make it. I'm pretty positive he won't make it too long.
Yeah, but we can't do any exercise trying to predict injuries. If we're going to do an exercise, we got to say and assume that the guy's going to be healthy for 16, even as unlikely as it is that Sam Bradford will complete a 16-game stretch. And I know it's unlikely, but what I'm saying is we can't sit here and be like the Niners are going to be good if everybody stays healthy.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? If this guy doesn't get injured by this date, we're just going to have to assume it's the offseason. No one's injured. We had to assume that everyone's going to stay healthy, and all things equal and 16 games under it, Sam Bradford is going to be the better quarterback on that team.
I do want to throw one more thing out there before we finish this off. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Sam Bradford fan. This is not me hating on Sam Bradford. Whenever he finished that very impressive year with the Vikings, what was that, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. I was very high on Sam Bradford going into the next year. His completion percentage was off the chart, I believe. And I was a fan of Sam Bradford. But I mean, he just that was the only time I ever saw him stay healthy. I think during that year. This should tell you, even though we're trying to avoid injury as a factor into this, this should just tell you how high I am on Josh Rosen. And I know it's not popular to be this high on rookies, but I mean, dude, I watched a lot of tape of the kid, and I really like him. I mean, that's just my opinion. He was my QB1. It wasn't even close. Sam Darnold was my QB2. Josh Rosen was my QB1. I have no problem saying all of that.
No, that's cool. I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you have your moment there. But so those are our rankings. Mine would be number 1, Russell Wilson. Number 2, Jared Goff. Number 3, Jimmy Garoppolo. And Dillon's was a little bit similar, but a little bit different. Honestly, only one position was the same, and that was number 1, Russell Wilson for Dillon. Number 2 was our own Jimmy Garoppolo, and number 3 was Jared Goff. He's got Rosen as the better quarterback on the Cardinals, while I have Bradford. So it's going to be very fun to see who wins these starting jobs and everything like that. Just something fun that we can do. This was supposed to be it. We weren't supposed to do anymore, but Dillon and I started talking. We didn't want to just end it right here. So now what we're going to do is further piss people off. And we're going to talk top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL real quick. We're going to try to make this as quick as possible. I just want
everybody to know I begged Mike to do this because I just felt like those four in the division just weren't enough. I just wanted to really make y'all mad. I was feeling it. I begged him to let us do this.
All right, so we're gonna go 1, 1, 2, 2. We're gonna go down the list like that. Is that how you want to do it?
Hey, that's cool with me. So this is the top 10 QBs in the league right now, and like I said with the last one, it is who you would want if you were starting a game right now. You don't need to worry about our system. You don't need to worry about the players around them. Just imagine you've got a team, and imagine it's a good team all around, and you want your quarterback. You're picking the quarterback to start for your team. So you don't have to worry about any of that other stuff.
All right. So, all right, I'm going to kick this one off. You kicked off the last one.
Okay.
My number 1 quarterback, if I got to go this year right now, Tom Brady. I don't even know how that's debatable.
You ready? All right. I have this argument with my dad all the time. Okay, it's the Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers debate for me every time. He's all in on the Tom Brady, and I'm all in on the Aaron Rodgers. Look, I don't deny that Tom Brady is – if I was looking to start a dynasty, I would have chosen Tom Brady. But I am looking for a season next year. And like you said, we're not looking into injuries. So I'm not that worried about Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. I am worried about the magic that man creates on the field. It is undeniable, okay? If I'm starting my season, I want Aaron Rodgers. That's just it.
You are in for vast disappointment, bro. Aaron Rodgers isn't even number 2 on my list. Aaron Rodgers is you know what? Fuck it. We said we're going to piss people off. Aaron Rodgers is the biggest con artist the NFL has ever seen. I said it. Let me ask you a question. I just sat here and said all these positive things about Sam Bradford. He can make all the throws. He's an intelligent quarterback. He just can't stay healthy, da-da-da-da-da. Well, Aaron Rodgers can make all the throws. He stayed healthy. He's got that 1 Super Bowl win. When's the last time they made it to the Super Bowl? When's the last time they won a playoff game? Like, come on, man. Like, we make excuses for this guy year after year after year. We blame it on injuries. We blame it on his weapons. He's had some of the best weapons the league has ever seen.
No. He has made some of the best weapons this league has ever seen.
That is
the truth.
No.
Ty Montgomery would have been anything in this league without Aaron Rodgers.
Come on, bro. That's like saying Tom Brady is a system quarterback only. We don't know because we haven't seen them without.
Hey, bold prediction to go with my stats or my idea here. I don't think Jordy Nelson's going to do that phenomenally in Oakland.
He's like 40 years old. He shouldn't. But look what happened when other wide receivers left over there and went to Minnesota. What's the guy's name? Jennings. Jennings had a decent season when he left and went to Minnesota. These guys go other places and they do well. Aaron Rodgers has had weapons. Yes, he makes them better right away than what they would be, but he's had weapons, man. We make so many excuses for him. Aaron Rodgers he's good. this is going to sound so wrong. Aaron Rodgers is good. He is physically one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. Literally makes all the throws from all the different angles. He can anticipate. He does what Russell Wilson does as far as, escapability and things like that and extending plays and all that stuff. But with all that being said, he might be the most overhyped quarterback I've ever heard of in my life. Him and Brett Favre, it's a Green Bay thing. Both of them are severely overhyped. Like, they get praised as if they're these elite top 3 of all time quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is not that. He's not that. At some point, you've got to start winning games. At some point, you got to do better in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. So number 2, are you ready to move on, or do you want to rebuttal?
I'm ready. I don't want to argue that one anymore. That's my feelings. I'm gonna leave it out there.
I'm gonna piss people off, man. All right. So number 2. My number 2 quarterback is Drew Brees. Woo. Now, the reason I got Drew Brees up there is because that guy has a clutch gene in him, man. Drew Brees is the kind of guy I want because of one thing. He's clutch, yes, but even more important than that, Drew Brees is the one guy I've ever seen that does not care about how bad of a play he just had. Drew Brees will throw an interception and come back and hit you with 2 touchdowns just because he threw that 1 interception. That's why I want it.
I agree. And I'm big on Drew Brees too, of course. I mean, how could you not be? But my number 2 is Tom Brady. I had Aaron Rodgers at 1. I'm putting Tom Brady at 2. I don't think it's even close as to who should be my number 2. I mean, Tom Brady, like, you made the argument for me. I don't need to sit here and tell you how good the man is because we all know he's good. So, I mean, that's it. My number 2 is Tom Brady.
All right. We're going to keep it moving. My number 3 is your number 1.
Finally.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is my number 3 guy. The guy is great. Even though I do think he's the most overhyped quarterback, he is great, though. So you got to give it to him.
All right. And my 3 is going to be your number 2. It's Drew Brees. Like I said, he's phenomenal. I would love to have him as a quarterback, but just not as much as I'd love to have Rodgers and Brady.
Yeah. And so I think everyone's top 3 is the same, like, everywhere. So this is where the list starts to get interesting.
Yeah, right? It really gets fun.
Yeah, this is when you have to start justifying why you have certain guys in certain places and things like that. It's easy to come up with the top 3 right away, right? So then this is where we're going to start to have some fun. Huh?
You going for this one or me?
I got it. I'm gonna go first with all of them. I'm gonna let you get the number 2 after that. All right. So my number 4 is Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson has fallen victim to a poor team, poor drafting decisions, and horrible offensive line play. He's the good part of the offense, and that defense has been solid for him. They were a week 17 loss away from making the playoffs this year, and they had no business making the playoffs at all. And it's all due to Russell Wilson. That defense was falling apart. Players are coming and going. They're arguing and fighting with each other on the sidelines all of a sudden. People who are leaving the team are bad-mouthing the coaching staff and all that stuff, and they're talking about the discourses going on over there. Russell Wilson is the one constant over there. That guy is good. He's on a bad team right now, but he's a good player. Russell Wilson's my number 4.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no need for debate here. My number 4, as much as I hate the team, as much as I hate him, it's Russell Wilson. I mean, he's an elite player. He is a top 5 quarterback, and that's not debatable in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, he's found a way to make – what's that kid's name, that receiver in Seattle?
Richardson?
No. They're number 1.
Baldwin.
Just so y'all know, I don't like Doug Baldwin. He's found a way to make Doug Baldwin look like this elite receiver that people seem to think he is. And I'll take hate for that one, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if my chat froze or what. I can't see what's going on over there.
I don't see anything going on either.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. Okay, cool. So my number 5 is Matt Ryan.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this bothered me. I got Matt Ryan kind of high on the list, but I feel like Matt Ryan is – I don't want to say the name because the name that I was going to say is on this list also, but Matt Ryan is a guy that does his job well. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to go try to do it. Here's the problem with Matt Ryan. It's when a play breaks down, how well can he improvise? But if a play goes according to plan, Matt Ryan is the guy you want in there. So that's why he's my number 5.
All right. I have no problem with that. Matt Ryan's not far from my from my next spot, but I had Big Ben as number 5, and I feel like a lot of people don't like Big Ben because he's getting up there in age. You got the Jaguars game where I think he threw 5 picks, and I understand that, but I mean everybody's entitled to a bad game. You remember Tom Brady's week 1, and then he turned out to be the top 100 number 1 of the year. I mean you're entitled to a bad game. Other than that, I think he did phenomenally. I blame Ben Roethlisberger for the fact that you have Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and yet you still aren't winning Super Bowls. I think that's a problem. Now, I don't fully blame Ben Roethlisberger. I blame a lot of coaching on that, too, because I feel like they're not schemed up well enough. But I'm just saying, over Ben Roethlisberger's career, he's proved to be a viable quarterback all the time, and he's my number 5 for this. Yeah.
I respect that. I got some personal issues with Ben Roethlisberger. I used to be a Steelers fan until he started getting in trouble in the off seasons early in his career, but that's neither here nor there. But the reasons that you listed you said you blame some of it on coaching is the reason why I have him as my number 6 and not my number 5. My logic is pretty simple. If you give Matt Ryan a top 2 running back and an arguably number 1 wide receiver, I think Matt Ryan will do better with it than what Ben Roethlisberger has done with it. Ben Roethlisberger has had the best run game wide receiver combination in the league for the last 5 years, and he's just not doing what he's supposed to with it. Seems like the bigger the games, the worse he plays. There were some playoff games that they advanced in that they looked like they got lucky to get to the next game, and that just can't be the case. And it's not just Antonio Brown. There are talented wide receivers on that team that other than Antonio Brown. There's a reason they let these guys go, because they have a great drafting and farming system over there for those wide receivers. Those guys who usually leave there as a wide receivers are typically the highest paid wide receivers in free agency after they depart from the Pittsburgh Steelers. That happens for a reason. Those guys are really good over there. And Ben Roethlisberger just didn't take enough advantage of the weapons around him. And that's why I didn't have him at number 5, but instead number 6. He's my number 6 quarterback.
Well, I guess what they say is true about this whole great minds think alike, because we just had those guys switched up right there because Matt Ryan's my number 6, man. And I mean, it's like I don't even need to be here. You're making all my arguments for me, man. I mean, everything you said's true. And the only reason that he dropped to my number 6 is what you said. I mean, occasionally whenever a play breaks down, he's just not quite ready for it. I mean, I've seen great scramble plays from him, but I mean that's it. I really don't have anything else to say. Matt Ryan's a good player. He's my number 6.
All right, so then how about this? We went through half of the list, a little bit more than that, and I went first. So now I'm going to give it back to you and let you go first, and then I'll respond. Take us off from number 7.
All right, and for my number 7. This has a lot to do. This has a very similar vibe as whenever we went to divisional, and I said next year I think this guy's going to be higher up. Okay, this is how I feel about this guy. It was just I couldn't in right conscious put him way up there yet, and his name's Carson Wentz. I thought he was phenomenal. Now I don't mean to be this guy. But Carson Wentz was my QB1 coming out that year, definitely over Jared Goff, who I have already professed my disdain for. But I'm a big fan of Carson Wentz. I watched the Eagles play for most of the year. I tried to catch as many of the games as possible. But I mean, yeah, I was a Carson Wentz guy. I think he deserves to be in the top 10 already after an incredible season. I mean, a lot of people want to say that he played it too much into a system because of after how Nick Foles came in and was able to do it too. But there's one play that I want to bring up specifically. I wish I could just pull it up for you and show you, but I mean, I don't have it here with me right now. But it was actually, I believe, the play that he tore his ACL. because he tore his ACL and still finished the play. And I'm pretty sure it was a touchdown too. There's plays all over Carson Wentz tape from last year of him just doing absolutely magical things. He was dogpiled. I want to say, don't quote me on this one, it was against the Redskins. I want to say that's the game that he was just, there was so many people on top of him, and he ran around it. And he got out of it. I'm a big Carson Wentz supporter. He's my number 7. And yeah, that's just the way it is.
All right. My number 7 is not Carson Wentz. It's a guy who's been in the league a lot longer than Carson Wentz. And it's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is my guy. I feel like Phillip Rivers, the last like 5 or 6 seasons, Phillip Rivers and the Chargers have been so ready to go, and then boom, they just get like dismantled with injuries. Year after year after year, it just happens to them, and it's on both sides of the ball. They just can't keep these key players healthy, and it's no fault of Phillip Rivers. That the main reason Phillip Rivers is in my top 10 and he's as high as he is because of his heart. Phillip Rivers is a guy who will fight you to the very, very end. He's the guy that, while in the middle of falling, there's no play to be made, but he wants to try to throw the ball if the game is on the line. He's just going to play and give you everything he's got, every chance he gets. Ask his wife. I'm done.
All right. Whoa. I'm feeling like there's no point in us doing this anymore if you and me are just going to keep having the QBs at the same spot. Because my next guy is Phillip Rivers. And once again, I swear, guys, we didn't go over this list beforehand. I promise you, we really didn't. That's what's actually so surprising about this. I'm hearing all this at the same time as you. And, yeah, Phillip Rivers is my number 8 on the list. Again, he's got heart. I mean, I hear he's a little bit of a jerk, but that's just from rumors. But what can you do? I mean, Phillip Rivers has been impressive all the time. And a buddy of mine brought this up, like 2 years ago, I think. And at the time, I brushed it off like a joke or something, but he mentioned the fact that if you surrounded Phillip Rivers with a team that, 1, earlier in his career had more talent, and 2, didn't always get injured, he should have a ring by now. Honestly, he's a great quarterback. He always puts up those big numbers.
Imagine Phillip Rivers on the Steelers team. Just game over, bro. It's game over. I hate his throwing motion and everything, but that's cool. So Phillip Rivers was my number 7. He's your number 8, so it's my turn to tell you my number 8. I won't take a lot of time. I'm just going to say the name and let it go right back to you because you said why. My number 8 is actually Carson Wentz. So I'm not gonna waste any time. You're up. Who's your number 9? This is where I think the list gets different.
My number 9 is actually Matthew Stafford. I mean, I feel like Matthew Stafford's an underrated quarterback. He's produced ever since he got into the league. I mean, he's got a decent little, or decent's a underrated or not that good of a word, but he's got a good wide receiver core over there. He hasn't had. He really just has not had a run game the entire time he's been in the NFL. So I give him props for that one too, over the fact that he hasn't had anything to take any pressure off of him. I'll keep it short and sweet. I think Matthew Stafford's very impressive, and I think he deserves to be at the spot that he is.
Matthew Stafford did not make my top 10 at all. Yeah, I know. They can't see you, but I can. And Dillon just gave me the what face. Like, yeah, he did not make my top 10 at all. My number 9 guy is Alex Smith. I don't think Alex Smith made your top 10. Maybe he did. I don't know. But Alex Smith is my number 9 guy. Alex Smith went through so much turmoil early on in his career. I think he was at like 6 different offensive coordinators in 6 seasons. He finally had Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman. He mastered that system. He had a concussion. He hit the bench, and they never used him again. He goes to over that. That was after winning 13 games, by the way. That was after winning 13 games and getting to the NFC Championship game. All right. Now, he couldn't do shit in that game. We didn't have any weapons for him, but whatever. That's a different story. Well, that's not true. I can't say we didn't have. Anyway, so Alex Smith is that guy. He goes to Kansas City. He continues the double-digit wins every single season. His biggest knock is that he doesn't pull the trigger on the big plays. And if you look at the way Kansas City is built, the reason he was traded to Washington is because they want explosive plays. You look at Kareem Hunt and speed that he has, and you look at West, you look at the weapons that they have over there, and then you look at the guys that they drafted to replace Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. What's his one good feature as a quarterback? It's that cannon of an arm. They want the big plays there. And so he's not going to give you the big plays, but he's not going to make the mistakes. He's not going to have double-digit turnovers. He's not going to take stupid, make stupid throws and risk it. He'd rather take a sack and live to fight another day. He's going to make your tight end and your running back top 10 players as far as receptions and yards go. That's just what Alex Smith is. He's a smart, intelligent football. You can call him a game manager if you want, but he manages to win games. Alex Smith is my number 9.
All right, well, my number 10, and I told Mike beforehand that my number 10 was tied between two people, and I just couldn't decide, and I have an argument for both that I'm going to throw out there. But the first guy actually just happens to be the same guy Mike was just talking about. I'm telling you, it's getting weird. It really is. Alex Smith. I mean, it just seems like you always think that he's going to start sucking again, but you can't hate on Alex Smith for how he played last year. It was great. Like, the dude balls out. Now, I'm not looking for Alex Smith. I don't think Alex Smith is ever going to be the quarterback that's going to lead you all the way to a championship. I just don't think he has that in him as other quarterbacks do. But the reason I really wanted him on this list is we were talking about putting Alex Smith on a team with a good roster around him. And he's been with so many just different rosters, and he's always been able to produce. I mean, he's never really had like a terrible year. And that's the thing. I mean, just whenever you're going to put him out there with a good roster that's going to suit him, I mean, I really think that tight end and that running back, like you said, are gonna be great. And then the other guy that I had, and it's surprising even to me that I put him on this list because I'm a big hater of this guy.
Is this your honorable mention? This is number 11, technically?
I couldn't decide on who to pick for number 10.
Oh, okay.
I'll save him as an honorable mention if you want.
Yeah, save him as an honorable mention. Let me give you my number 10 real quick. All right. And by the way, Steve, I see you muted me, bro. I see it. I said Alex Smith and he muted me. I see you, bro. All right. Number 10 for me, believe it or not, is Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Like I said, Matt Stafford Dillon just walked away from the computer. It's Kirk Cousins, man. Listen, I think Kirk Cousins gets a bad rap. They don't do a good job of protecting him. He makes some bad plays like all quarterbacks do. But here's the thing. There's not a lot of guys that you don't even have to think that a guy is good when you're making a list. It's just a matter of, are you taking this guy over that guy? And I started running out of names that I would take over Kirk Cousins. So that's how Kirk Cousins made my top 10. And I think our honorable mentions will explain why. So go ahead.
All right, for my honorable mention, like I was saying, it's a guy that I really didn't. I agree with Steve on this one. He hit you with a double mute. You deserve that one. I'm sorry. But it's a guy that I really didn't think that I was going to put on this list. Because honestly, I've been a big hater of this guy, and I really have, and I feel bad because he plays for my home state. But I mean, I'm throwing Cam Newton out there, okay? And I'll give you my exact reason. We made this list judging as a quarterback that's going to have a roster that supports him, okay? And I mean, the reason that Cam Newton has yet to be successful in this league is, one, he throws way over wide receivers' heads all the time. I mean, he does. You can't argue with me on that one. You're never going to change my mind on that one. He overthrows his receivers all the time. But at the same time, it's been a while since somebody schemed correctly with him. I mean, It really has. I think they're going to start changing it around, which kind of scares me. But if I'm starting a team that's going to work around my quarterback, I want Cam Newton in there, but he's my honorable mention. He didn't make my top 10, but I can't find another name that I would want over him.
Cam Newton is my number 12. My number 11 / honorable mention is actually Matt Stafford. Yeah. So, I'm not going to go into it. We talked about Matt Stafford already. You just talked about Cam Newton. I want to let everybody know we did not name Jimmy Garoppolo because he's only had 7 starts. We purposely did not do that. The hate was starting to come in here. You got Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins over Jimmy Garoppolo. Like I see it. I see it coming in here. Okay. Now, for the sake of argument and to keep 49er fans who are watching happy, okay, for the 30 people who are watching live and the hundreds or thousands that are going to watch this again, if we had to put Jimmy Garoppolo on this list, first of all, if we're going to include Jimmy Garoppolo, would he make your top 10, yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not even questionable. One of my favorite part that Mike didn't even say it is we waited. We waited until after we went through the whole list to tell you guys, just so you would all get really mad that we didn't have Jimmy in the top 10. Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely in my top 10.
It's hard for me to say he's definitely going to make my top 10 because of that touchdown to interception ratio. But he absolutely would make my top 10. And if I were to put him in a place on this list, he would be above Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins. So he would be my number 9 guy. I wouldn't take him right now over Wentz, Rivers, Roethlisberger, Ryan, Wilson, Rodgers, Breeze, or Brady. So he would plug in at number 9, and he would bump Kirk Cousins off of my list. So Alex Smith is under Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right. Well, for me, he's not far off from where you are. I know you guys waited to hear us talk about Garoppolo, but I can't, in right conscience, even in this little fun part of the exercise, put him all the way up where I want to put him or where I think he could be next year, honestly. But right now, he's going to be sitting at my number 8, which bumps Matthew Stafford down to 9 and Phillip Rivers down to 10, gets the little Alex Smith off the list, and that leaves Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. But
I can't believe you had Alex Smith on your list. If I had to bet money, I would have bet money that you would have had a Mariota or Deshaun Watson on your list. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I haven't seen enough of Watson. I'm sorry. The small sample size.
Hey, I'll take some hate for this, and I'm okay with that. I'm not that sold on Deshaun Watson yet, honestly. I think he has potential through the roof. And he obviously put up huge numbers, really. I mean, he did. I can't argue with that. He produced very well. He played like a great quarterback. But if you go back and watch some of the plays, a lot of them just seemed like a complete I hope that lands somewhere. They seemed a lot of luck. I hope the best for him. I really do. He's in the AFC. I don't care about him. But, I mean, I'm just saying there's still the potential for that sophomore slump.
I agree with you 110%. Now, this was fantasy football. We're putting together a different top 10 list. But we're talking about a guy that you're going to take for the season. We're not talking about fantasy football. This is a guy on your team. You don't know the system. You're going to go and work with it. So, no, he wouldn't even be in my top 15. All right. But Jimmy G would make our top 10. We just didn't include him on purpose because of the inexperience. And that's really going to be it, guys. Dillon, give them your Twitter handle so they can send you some love this week or some hate. It depends, Yeah.
Send me the hate about Deshaun Watson. That's fine, guys. I honestly have no problem talking to you guys about it because I'm telling you, if you just go look at a little bit of the tape, some of his plays were luck. This isn't me hating on Deshaun Watson. I have all the love in the world for this kid. I hope he does great.
I will say this. He made some pretty fucking amazing plays also.
Exactly. He did. I'm not trying to discredit those.
I don't even remember which game. It might have been the Seahawks game. There was a game that was on the other night, late night, and I was watching it with him, and I swore he was going to take a sack. He got spun around. He rolled out to the right and just threw a late. I thought he was throwing it away. Boom, touchdown. Like, and it was a deep pass too. It wasn't just some short little, 5 yard in the red zone. Like this guy was putting in some work, man. He was better than I thought he was, but the lows that I saw from him were the lows that I expected. The highs that I saw from him exceeded what I thought the highs were going to be.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely. And I see in the chat 503. Send me that hate about Alex Smith. I love it. I love the hate. You can hate me all you want. My Twitter handle is @DillonFrazier98. Okay, follow me. Hate me.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to send me some hate personally, it's 49ers Mike _NF, as in Niners fan. All right. And if you guys want to just send some love to the actual overall page, that is nothing but 9ERS on Twitter. You guys can send emails. If you guys want me and Dillon to debate something, send us an email, nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. It's pretty simple. All right. nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. Or you can send it to us on Twitter. Just let us know what you guys want us to do, and we'll break it down for you. We will gladly debate and give you guys our opinions here. This one almost feels like a waste because of how similar our lists were for everything.
I didn't know it was going to be like that.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun with it. I just knew I was going to throw you off with the Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins thing. I got you with Kirk Cousins, but Alex Smith, like, wow.
We don't need to talk about that one.
All right, faithful, we're going to get up out of here. Faithful unite, and above all else, stay faithful. You guys be safe. Have a great night. We out of here.